What makes a good headset a good headset? Well, for me, there are 4 specific things that you should look for. In order of importance, starting with the most important, in my opinion, is number 1, the microphone quality or the output quality. Number 2, the comfort or how it feels on your head. Number 3 for me is the build quality and its durability. Number 4, for me, it's the least important, the sound quality or the input quality. That's what you hear, not the quality of the microphone. Remember, quality of the microphone, for me at least, is number 1. So I'd like to go over my brief overview of each one of these 4 headsets that I have here on my desk. I'm very careful about technology, and each one of these headsets, at the time that I bought them, I researched and carefully chose. So they're all good headsets. Some are better than others. One is definitely better than the rest. Please remember that the end of this video is definitely the most crucial part. The microphone test is what's important. So stick around. The first headset I'm going to talk about is the Microsoft LX3000. This one is rather old. You can see it has maybe just a little bit of wear and tear. This headset was released in around 2006. You can buy it on Amazon today for about $27. The connectivity is USB, which is important. I think USB headsets are generally the best. Build quality, I would say, is a 7 out of 10. It's pretty strong plastic, but it does feel a little bit flimsy, a little bit delicate. In terms of comfort, I'd probably give this a 7 out of 10. It's nice, it's light, but it's, all the way around the ear, and some people don't like that. The sound quality when listening to music on this headset is not so great. It is a very old headset after all. I'd say that the sound quality is about a 6 out of 10. So some of the key features I think that the Microsoft LX3000 has is the noise cancellation on the microphone. It has a quick mute button and volume control, but the volume control isn't a wheel as you tend to see these days. It's little buttons that you have to press. And for this one, that's about it. That's the Microsoft Live Chat LX3000. The next one along is the Microsoft Live Chat LX6000. This headset was released in around 2010 and it's about $41 on Amazon. Again, USB connectivity, which is always important. The build quality of the Microsoft LX6000, I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10. It's plastic, just like the LX3000, but it's just a little bit more delicate and a little bit more flimsy, probably because it's thinner. You probably can't see this properly here, but this part I actually had to super glue back together because it snapped on me. And this is much newer than the 3000. Okay, the comfort level, this one's quite unique. I'd probably give this an 8 out of 10 in terms of comfort. What I like about this one is it doesn't kind of cover your whole ears and the whole side of your head, especially if you have a small head. Those, big ones feel like they're swallowing your face. But this one, it's just an over-ear one, and some people like that. The sound quality is not bad when listening to music, but it's definitely not a headset that you'd want to use, primarily for listening to music. It's a 6 out of 10 in terms of sound quality. So let's talk about some of the key features. It does have a noise cancelling microphone, which is great. It also has a quick mute button and on the side there, volume control. But I'm not sure what it is with Microsoft and not having a wheel as volume control. Usually people prefer wheels. And this button in the middle allows you to take calls on Skype or end calls on Skype. It might work with other platforms as well, but I found that button to be pretty useless. And the final key feature I would say is, the fact that it's over your ears rather than over the sides of your face. The third headset is the Corsair HS50 Pro. This headset was released in 2019 and it's only $50 on Amazon. Now that might seem expensive, and it's more expensive than the others, but that's actually a really good price for what you get. One of the downsides though is that it has 3.5mm analog connectivity. It's not USB, and it does come with a splitter. So if you have those two analog inputs, one for the headphones and one for the microphone, you can use that. Or if you just want to use the headset as headphones, you can just use that part. The build quality is a 9 out of 10 for me. It has metal, I think it's aluminium, plastic parts as well, and also this very nice, comfortable, spongy bit at the top. So in terms of comfort level, I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. When I first had the headset, the first few days, it felt really comfortable. But after time, I started to realize that it's kind of creating this weird vacuum feeling on my ears, like it's pulling my ears and kind of sucking my brain out through my ears, and obviously that's uncomfortable. It's not as bad as I'm making out, but you do notice it over time. If you have it on for a long time and it starts to, press onto your head and then you take it off, it's kind of like you're getting out of a swimming pool after going in the deep water. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit like that. So it's a little bit uncomfortable in that sense, but I don't think it's an uncomfortable headset. The sound quality of the Corsair HS50 Pro is pretty amazing, especially for the price. I'd give the sound quality a 9 out of 10. The key features are a semi-noise cancellation headphone. I'd say that the noise cancellation isn't as good as the Microsoft headsets. Also, it has a quick mute button here, as well as volume control. This one has a wheel, finally. Something else that's really cool about this headset is it has a detachable microphone. So if you want to use it just to listen to music, you can take out that microphone and take it outside with you while you go walking. It's a gaming headset officially, but it's not one of those gaming headsets that have RGB lights and lots of red and green and look a little bit over the top. So it's something that you can get away with just walking around in the street listening to music on. So that's one of the pros for sure. This brings us to the last headset, the Logitech G Pro X. This headset was released in 2019 as well, and it's about $130 on Amazon. With the Logitech G Pro X, you actually have a choice between USB and the 3.5mm jack. But you definitely want to use the USB because it's attached to this. I'll talk a little bit about this later. In terms of build quality, for me, this is a 10 out of 10. It's super flexible, it's really durable, lots of metal parts, but it's not heavy, Now, in terms of comfort level, this is really interesting. When I got it, these were the pads that came with it. So these are your standard kind of plastic covered foam pads, and I tried them on and it kind of felt like the Corsair headset, kind of pressing in and creating that weird vacuum feeling. But I noticed that in the bag there was an extra set of pads, so the pads were actually detachable, and you could try these, which are a little bit more they're much softer. It's kind of like fabric, I don't know, velour, I think it's called, but it's so comfortable. I'd say that the Logitech G Pro X headset is a 9.5 out of 10 in terms of comfort. It's so comfortable, it's much more comfortable than the others. So why not a 10 out of 10? Well, after you use a headset like this for a long time, it does take its toll a little bit on your ears and your head. But I think that's more about not using headsets healthily or using them for an unhealthy amount of time. So yeah, comfort level, it's up there. The sound quality of this headset is a strong 9.5 out of 10. It's not a 10 because I don't think it matches the level of studio quality headsets that sound engineers might use in the studio. So let's talk about its key features. It has a mute button, along with volume control. This time it's a wheel, the volume control, which by now you know that I like. Also, like the Corsair headset, it has a detachable microphone. For me, one of the biggest key features of the headset as well is those velour exchangeable head pads or ear pads. Really comfortable. I think that the best feature of the Logitech G Pro X headset is definitely, by far, this little guy. So the Logitech G Pro X headset has something called Blue Voice technology, and that's enabled by this little USB dongle. Blue Voice technology is amazing. It's okay if you don't have any idea what that is yet. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But just because of this technology, I know that I'll be using this headset for a very long time for many different things. We're about to move into the most important part of this video, the microphone test. You don't want to miss this. Links to buy any of these headsets can be found in the description, by the way. So if you see one you like, just scroll down and look in the description, click the link and buy it. The small pup gnawed a hole in the sock. The small pup gnawed a hole in the sock. The small pup gnawed a hole in the sock. The small pup gnawed a hole in the sock. The small pup gnawed a hole in the sock. The fish twisted and turned on the bent hook. The fish twisted and turned on the bent hook. The fish twisted and turned on the bent hook. The fish twisted and turned on the bent hook. The fish twisted and turned on the bent hook. Press the pants and sew a button on the vest. Press the pants and sew the button on the vest. Press the pants and sew a button on the vest. Press the pants and sew a button on the vest. Press the pants and sew a button on the vest. The beauty of the view stunned the young boy. The beauty of the view stunned the young boy. The beauty of the view stunned the young boy. The beauty of the view stunned the young boy. The beauty of the view stunned the young boy. Did you notice that I recorded 2 parts for each Logitech G Pro X headset for each line? One was with Blue Voice enabled, and one was with Blue Voice disabled. Let's re-enable that. Okay, so what is Blue Voice technology? Without going into too much detail, Blue Voice technology is an audio processing software, the one that you see right here, that allows you to EQ your audio in real time. That might sound confusing. This all probably looks really confusing. But what it means is that you can have outstanding audio on your microphone without having to edit anything. It's really, really, really easy to set up, and there are plenty of videos out there showing you what to do. If you get the Logitech G Pro X headset, you just download something called the Logitech G Hub afterwards, and that looks like this. Then you just click your headset, and you'll be able to enable or disable Blue Voice. But first you'll have to actually set something up to enable or disable. And there are already a bunch of presets that you can choose. So I can just switch over to a different preset right now, and this sounds a bit different. Switch over to some of these are streamers and gamers presets that they've set up. I use my own custom preset. It's not even a custom one. I didn't do all of this myself. You can play around with this if you know how to EQ audio a little bit, but I don't touch it. I just choose someone's preset and it does it all for me. It's that easy. So just to give you an idea, back to back, if I disable Blue Voice technology, you can hear quite a difference there. And then if I go ahead and re-enable it, you can hear the difference is real, right? It's a huge difference. And this is by far the best sounding microphone I've ever owned. You switch it on and your audio becomes instant radio, broadcast, podcast quality. Speaking of podcasts, I recently launched my own little podcast along with my co-host, Nicola. I thought I'd give it a little plug here, why not? Maybe some of you will enjoy it. It's called Filmcouch. We're on Spotify, Anchor, and I think all other podcast platforms that you can think of. So check it out if you want. The link is in the description. I'm not going to say too much about it. You just have to go and see what it's about. The last thing I wanted to say is, well, apart from hit like on the video because it helps it get recommended and subscribe for good measure. No, that's not the last thing I wanted to say. This is the last thing I wanted to say. Headsets are subjective. to a point. Microphone quality is subjective to a point. This video is just my opinion and review and reflection on 4 headsets that I very carefully chose in the past. In case you didn't get the message of this video, the Logitech G Pro X headset is definitely the best headset I've ever had, and I did my research. So what's your favourite headset? Comment below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.